Hi everyone, welcome back to Brookvalleylife, or hello for the first time. Now we're going to be doing something on the archery side that's a bit different. There have been some Easter eggs in there, and I have got myself something in this box. Those who know, know. The thing is, to work on it, I need some tools. So this is going to be the first in a series of videos talking about and making tools for an archery workshop. Now, the first tool, I'm mainly a recurve shooter, but I've got this thing to play with. Yes, I did buy it myself. Now, to work on it, you really need to have a bow press. So you can change strings, you can fit peep sights, you can do lots of things with it. But you need it so you can press the bow to sort things out. However, here in New Zealand, if I want to buy myself a bow press, a proper metal one that you put the bow in and not just a little like a master press one, which I've already got, by the way, I would have to spend around about $1,500 excluding shipping. And that's from New Zealand. And if I was to go offshore, it must probably be more because of the shipping. So I decided, I'm an engineer. Surely it can't be that difficult to build one. Now, I'm not a welder. And what you're going to see is me stick welding and doing a lot of grinding. Some of the welds were good, some of the welds weren't so good. So this is just to show you that to produce what I'm going to produce, you can do it with the minimal amount of tools, nuts, bolts, drill, grinder with cutting discs and grinding discs. If you've got a cheap welder, perfect, because that's all you need. A cheap welder you can pick up, as long as you can hot glue this stuff together, sweet as. So what I'm going to do is put it together, and at the end we'll go through exactly how much this has cost me. Is it cost effective to produce this myself, or is it more cost effective just go and buy one from a shop? So stay with me. This is going to be a good one for anybody who wants to get into compound archery and do work on their own pieces of kit. We don't have a bow shop anywhere near us, so need one. So let's go and see if I can put this thing together. Hi everyone, welcome back to Brookvalleylife, or hello for the first time. Been shooting this morning, really good, so things are getting better. However, this video, it was going to be a single video, but because I've got so much footage and lots of different things, I've decided to split it into two, and this is part one of my bow press build. So in this first episode, we'll see the what I'm using to make it, the welding, all this type of thing, the painting, all the bits we're going to be using, all that type of thing. And the second episode will be me putting it together, putting a bow in and showing you how it presses the bow. So I decided, have a quick look online, see how things are, see if I can find any plans. Couldn't find any plans, but then I thought, I'm an engineer, can't be that difficult. And I've put one together, and here she is. This is the finished article. So I have done a lot of the videoing already, and the second part is going to have a bit of a duff audio because this thing didn't work properly. Now, I've still got audio for it, but it's not as good as it could be. So in this first episode, what we're going to show you is, as I said, the material, me welding, all this type of thing, and what you need to do it. So stay with me and let's go for part one of building your own bow press. So here we have what I'm going to be using to start building all my stuff. Now, to begin with, I'm going to start building the bow press. I've got to do some welding, a little bit of turning, and then a bit of painting at the end to put things in together. So just to show you what I'm using. First of all, my welder. It's a Weldtech ATP 160. It does TIG, stick, and it also does plasma cutting. Great little one for working. From Weldtech. I got this as a birthday present. I'm not a welder. I'm a fitter and turner. Was my trade when I was in the Navy as a marine engineer, and welding was something we just didn't do on my side of things. So I've been practicing, and I can show you how it goes as we go through. But stick welding isn't too difficult, and anyone can do it, and with a grinder as well, you can make things look pretty afterwards. I purchased myself a tilting welding table, something you'll need if you're going to do any welding. This was, I think it was $170 odd here in New Zealand. And I know in the States you can buy them pretty cheap, and I reckon everywhere else around the world you'll be able to get it cheaper. So there's that one. So welder and that, and I'm just using, I think it's 3.2mm rods, general purpose rods, not the low hydrogen ones. I sound like I know what I'm doing. It's just that I did some at work the other day, and yeah, I got told a lot. The metal itself, first of all, square tube. So one's going to fit inside the other one, and there's going to be something that allows it to move in and out. Now the first bit is a 50 by 50 by 3. Now you'll notice this is all in metric because the rest of the world use metric. It's only the States and 2 other places that use imperial. So that is 2.54 centimeters. So 25.4 millimeters is an inch. So that is around 2 inches, and it's 3 mil thick. And I'm not going to even bother to try and figure out what that is. It is imperial, but it's smallish. Next one, 40 by 40 by 2.5. What does that mean? I think that's about 1.75 inches, 1.5 inches, something around there, and 2.5 mil in thickness. Yeah, so one's going to fit inside the other one. So I'll cut them to length, and I couldn't find anywhere that would give me the plans. And then I thought, well, what's the smallest bow I'm going to be pressing? And that is going to be about what I do. Now, my bow is 38 inch, axle to axle. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll make one that will go way past that, and I'll try and get one down to around 30 as well, because I don't hunt. I won't get a smaller axle to axle bow than a minimum of 30. I don't like shooting anything under that, so I may get a 33, and if this will do 33, sweet. Next, flat bar, 50 by 3. So 50 by 3. And I've got it 1 meter long. All these bits are 1 meter long. I've got 2 of those, 2 of those, 1 of those, 1 of those. And what I can do is cut that to size, put it on the end, weld it up, in close space. Sweet. Done. Same with that one if I need to. So I've got that and that. And then I've got a threaded rod. Now this is what's going to go inside of these. I'm going to take a nut. I'm going to weld it in the end here so it's solid. So when the thread goes through, it will just move backwards and it will move this backwards and forwards. Pretty simple. Now I was trying to figure out quite a few things actually. One is how, when you turn this, what stops it from pushing through. And what you do is you either pin this or weld a nut in position. Your handle will be on this end, so it will be that's in position, that won't be there. And as it turns, this turns with it, but it pushes up against the inside of just here. It'll be easy when I go through and show everyone what I'm doing. So threaded bar, that's an M20 threaded bar. Now I'm still not sure whether or not I'm going to use that, because I can get a inch Acme thread or a 3/4 Acme thread, which is a square thread, and nuts. So I'm just wondering at the moment, should I go for that? It might make it a bit smoother, but we'll wait and see. I also have a hand wheel. I picked this up off RS online, and I've just there already started. Hopefully you can see I drilled a hole, tapped it, put a grub screw in, so now that will clamp on the end of the threaded bar, because I'm going to turn the threaded bar down to that size, which is 12mm. And then I have a flange, which is also 12mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a flange on, or a plate onto there, same size as this, drill holes in the plate after it's welded onto there, and then bolt that onto that, have the 12mm coming out, goes through that, bolt it on, and therefore I can grease it because it's got a grease nipple to make sure everything runs smoothly. So that is it. That is my bow press. I'm still waiting for one thing to come, and that is a set of fingers. I actually bought a set of fingers. They were quite cheap. For me, they were $127 coming from Australia, and they are from Toe Point for their bow press, but you can buy the fingers on their own. I'll make a bracket to put them on. Sweet as, all done. And that is what I'm using. So let me go and show you once I've welded up the first two bits. So let's go and do some welding and grinding. So all the welding is done on the bow press. It may not be the best, but it's glued together quite well. Now just giving it a quick clean up, and then we'll do some painting, and then we'll put it together, and I'll show you exactly what I've done and how I put it together, because all of the videos I've seen doesn't really show how things go together that well. So let's go and clean these last bits up and give them a paint. Sorry for the audio so crap. I'm not wearing a mic, but I've cleaned everything up with acetone. Diggers, good stuff. And I'm painting on with the Duramax enamel paint. Supposed to be drip free from Durax. Let's give it a go. So paint's done, drying. Nice shiny blue. Maybe it should have been red, but hey ho. And then once everything's nice and dry, we will put it together.